So you're thinking about moving to Virginia's beautiful mountains and valleys, and more specifically, Waynesboro, Virginia. Well, in this video, I'm going to take you on a tour of Waynesboro and show you a little bit about the community and take you into several different neighborhoods and show you some different homes at some different price points that may fit into your budget. And if you hang around till the end of the video, I'm going to share with you what I call a hidden gem of Waynesboro that many people don't know about, and you definitely don't want to miss out on that. And we're going to get started right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Virginia, from its beautiful mountains to its valleys, then click on that subscribe button and touch that bell, and so you can be the first one to be notified about all of the current market information in Virginia, from its beautiful mountains to its valleys. Hi, my name's Stephen Gleason, along with my wife and partner Leslie, and we get emails and phone calls every day from folks just like you who are looking to move to Virginia, and we absolutely love it. And so whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, just pick up the phone and give us a call, shoot us an email, send us a text. The information's in the description down below, and we'll be happy to help you make your move to Virginia's mountains and valleys as smooth as possible. Now, as I mentioned, today we're in Waynesboro, Virginia, which is in the Shenandoah Valley. I'm downtown here at Constitution Park, and I'm going to take you uptown here a little bit and show you a little bit of the downtown, and then we'll show you some of the shopping areas as well. And there's a lot of different opportunities for shopping here in the Waynesboro area, and come along for the ride and we'll show it to you. So you saw a little bit of the downtown area in Waynesboro, and it's got several different shops down there that are worth a look to go in and just to peruse around and in the downtown. And now we're in one of the areas in Waynesboro where there's a lot of shopping, and this is right off Interstate 64. And as you can see behind me, there's a Target, there's also Burlington Coat Factory. In the other corner, there's a Books A Million. Just right across from me over here, there's a Kohl's, there's an Old Navy, and so a lot of different opportunities to shop here in the Waynesboro area. And if you were to look up the hill behind me, you're going to see a, well, you can't see it, probably hidden, but you got a McAllister's Deli, and you got a Chick-fil-A over there, so great places to stop and get lunch and some meals. And of course, if you jump right on over to the other side of the interstate, there's more shopping over there. There's a Lowe's, a Home Depot, there's Walmart. There's actually two Walmarts. There's one on each side of town, and one is a market style Walmart on the other side of town, but there's a super center on this side of town. There's a lot of restaurants over there that you'd be very familiar with as well. Five Guys, Burgers and Fries, Applebee's, Cracker Barrel, all different types of places that you could go, certainly to get a meal, and different places to shop. So when it comes to shopping, most of your basic needs can certainly be met here in the Waynesboro area. Even though the town of Waynesboro is only about 23,000 people, there's still a lot of shopping right around this area. So the first neighborhood we're going to look at here is actually two neighborhoods. We're in the Claybrook and Evanshire neighborhoods. And these neighborhoods are just north of Waynesboro by about, I don't know, probably 10 minutes from the middle of town. It's kind of toward the edge of town, like I say, and so some of the houses here are actually backed up against the woods, and that makes things really nice. But these are the typical homes that you're going to find in the Claybrook neighborhood. Most of these homes have been built in the last 10 or 12 years. As a matter of fact, the one I'm going to show you in a little bit was a home that was built just in 2019. So if you're looking to move to the Waynesboro area and you're looking to start out in a home that's between $300 and $400, maybe $425,000, these are great starter homes. As you can see, a lot of them have some yards that are maybe a little bit smaller than some of the houses that you might see that, you know, are a little more expensive, but of course the size of the yard, you know, figures into that price. The nice thing about it, like I say, most of them are newer homes. Well, not most of them, all of them are newer homes, and that just makes a lot less troubles when it comes to, you know, you don't have to do anything. They're turnkey ready to move in. You'll see a lot of them are 2 stories. So a lot of your master bedrooms are probably going to be on your second floor. The one nice thing about the neighborhood here, though, is almost every house, if not every house, has a garage in it. And most of them are 2-car garages, which, as I've mentioned in some of my videos before, a lot of the houses out here in the area don't have garages. So if you're in a neighborhood where you have a garage like that, that's something that is very much a desire of many of our clients that we deal with. Have a lot of folks come and ask me, and they've told me, they said, look, I'd like to get a house, here's my price range, but it has to have a garage. And so that kind of, depending upon the price range that you're in, that may or may not be a make or break type thing. So one of the nice things about this neighborhood is the garages that they have. It's also a very quiet neighborhood. Like I say, it's toward the north side of town. It's kind of like on the edge of town. And so you don't have the hustle and bustle of the downtown area. So these are some of the homes right here that are just on one of the loops around the neighborhood here, and I'm going to take you here in just a second. I'll show you some of the homes that are backed up to the woods. Those are really nice. Now they're a little bit more expensive. They're the ones, most of them are the ones that are in the $400,000 range. But like I say, if you're looking especially for good new starter homes in this area, Claybrook and Evanshire, those are 2 neighborhoods that will definitely meet all of those needs. And I had mentioned earlier about some of the homes, you know, being a little bit larger. Here's one, you're kind of seeing it from the back, but there behind my shoulder over there is one, and that's one of the ones that is over the $400,000 mark, but it has a lot of room in it as well. So, but let me take you back to the back of the woods here, and I will share with you a little bit about some of the houses back there that border along the woods. So as I mentioned, there are several of the homes here that are backed up along the woods, and this is one of the larger homes here in the neighborhood. As you can see, it's got a really nice 3-car garage, and looking at about 2,700 square feet here, and that's one that's in the $420,000 range. But as we walk up the little hill here, you're also going to notice again, most of the trees are younger. If we were to take a shot back up the street, though, you can see there's a lot of trees here that are starting to grow. They're starting to get a little bit more mature in the front yards, and like I say, it's just a really nice neighborhood. These homes back here, I'm sure that a lot of the folks really enjoy the privacy that they have with the woods in the back. Well manicured yards and landscaped yards. One thing about it, there's this area, these 2 subdivisions are pretty much mostly flat. One of the things in Virginia, a lot of times, and you can see here that some of the houses that we're looking at here, they sit on top of a hill, and these hills aren't too bad here, but some of them can get pretty steep sometimes. But for the most part, these 2 neighborhoods are very, very flat for the most part, which is obviously a plus in Virginia. You get up to some of these hills here, and you got some views of the mountains over on the other side. So again, just a couple really nice neighborhoods to be in. So behind me is one of the homes that is kind of typical to the neighborhood here in Claybrook. This particular home was listed at $320,000. It was built in 2019. It has 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths, 1,918 square feet, and that's about $167 a square foot, and that's pretty much in this neighborhood where you're going to fall between the $160, $150, $180 per square foot price range. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, lots a little smaller. It's just a little over a quarter-acre lot, but certainly if you're looking to get into a nice new property, I can't emphasize that enough, a nice new property, this neighborhood is a fantastic neighborhood for you to be in with all of the nice new houses in it. So as I was mentioning some of the views, I don't know if you can see them in the background there, but those are the Blue Ridge Mountains over there, and from almost the top of the hill up here, you can definitely see the Blue Ridge Mountains from here. And looking back down the street that we just walked up, again, like I say, there's nice quiet neighborhood about 10 minutes north of everything you need downtown, and again, like I say, just a nice neighborhood, whether you're starting a family or whether hi there again or whether you're having friendly neighborhood too. And so whether you're starting a family or whether you are past those years as a couple or as a single, whatever the case may be, this neighborhood is very good for any type of buyer, I guess you would say, any type of client, any type of person looking here in the area. So again, this is the Claybrook and Evanshire neighborhoods, and I'll take some video on the way out so you can see a few more of the houses in the neighborhoods. And we'll go ahead and we'll get on over to our next neighborhood. So now we've moved over to a different section of town here in Waynesboro, and this is a very established section of town. And as I walk up this street here, you're going to see a lot of the houses and how well established they are. I mean, look at the huge, massive trees here. A lot of the homes here were built pre-1940 or pre-1950. Very quiet neighborhood, and again, even though it's very relatively close to where a lot of the commerce takes place here in town, and I would say you're probably about 5 to 7 minutes away from shopping, and so it makes it very convenient for that. The houses here, as you can see, are, I would say, in many senses of the word, a good word to describe them might be stately. Matter of fact, there's one house a couple streets over here in the Waynesboro Co-Edition, the Corridor Overlay Edition, and there's also Rose Hill. These are kind of close together. They border each other, and there's houses in this area. You're going to find some in these areas that are less price outside of the more stately areas like this, but most of them in the stately areas here are going to range from about $350,000 to about $550,000. I'm just going to turn around here because the street is, it's just, you can see as you take a look up the street here. I'll just walk out here. It's probably one of the best ways just to show you. And some of the houses across the way here. There are young people that live in this neighborhood, but of course there are a lot of folks that have lived here for a long time in this neighborhood as well, and established in the area here. On one of the other sides of the community here, a few streets over, there's actually a house that was it kind of has some historical significance to it. One of the early leaders in the early 1900s here in industry, he had a plant downtown, a plant downtown, and he built one of the houses here for his plant manager. It was built in 1928, and it has huge columns on the front of it, and but in 1928, of course, is the year before the Great Depression, and things started getting a little tight even before the Depression, and so he had a lot of skilled craftsmen that he employed himself when he built that house, and so he was able to build the house using his laborers in order to do that. And so just kind of a neat little story here about in town. And like I say, a lot of brickwork. And like this particular house right here, you can see it's got a slate roof. If we go back down, there was a house on the other side here that's got some wood shingles on the top. Here's another house, a very stately looking house that has a slate roof on the top. You gotta love the features of like this particular property here, the stone wall that surrounds your house, and no chain link fence in here. Looking for walls and things like that. We're going to take a walk over here in just a second and look at one of the properties that's currently for sale right now, so you can get an idea about what you can get for your money in this particular neighborhood. So before we see the house that I kind of wanted to show you that's currently on the market, I just kind of wanted to show you the house here in the background. Just a really neat thing with all the ivy that's on the house itself, a little fence, and we're getting in Christmas time here, and some of the decorations. But just like I say, in a neighborhood that is very well established, you're looking at a lot of different things here as far as the architecture goes. If you were to move into a newer neighborhood, you're not going to get this type of thing in a newer neighborhood. However, if you're looking for this type of character in a house, this would be a fantastic street for anybody that's looking for that. And so just a really neat neighborhood. As you can see, listen, it's in the middle of town, but it's very quiet here in the neighborhood as well. And so I'm going to turn around here and I'm going to show you the house right now that's currently on the market. This particular house is $525,000. You can see all brick, got a lot of character to it as well. Got a couple car garage down below. And this particular property, this house was built in 1940, and it was about 2,862 square feet, which is about $183 a square foot. It has 4 bedrooms and 3.5 baths, so you've got quite a bit of room in here in the middle of town. And like I say, just kind of a really neat property on a really neat street here in Waynesboro. So if you're looking for something in the, we'll say, $350,000 to $550,000 price range, and you're looking for something established, and you're looking for something that is has a lot of character to it, this particular neighborhood, or these two neighborhoods here, would be of great interest and definitely a starting point for you to look at. We've come to our last neighborhood now, Loving Acres, and Loving Acres is on the south side of town. And as you can see, the houses in this neighborhood, we're to the end of one of the streets here, and you can see that the houses are very large. You're looking at 300,000, 4,000 square feet in a lot of the houses. And in this neighborhood, the price of a home will probably run you about $500,000 to about $780,000, $790,000, almost $800,000. Just take a walk up the street here, and one of the things about this neighborhood that you can definitely see is that there is a lot of property out here on these particular homes. If you have a place for a horse, I even saw an equestrian place in the backyard of one of the folks out here. And so just a really neat neighborhood. As you can see though, although some of the homes were built back in the 80s, 90s, that frame, the trees were kept when they were built, and so you've got a lot of mature trees here in the neighborhood, and which makes it really nice. And that way you're not starting all over with new trees. But it's a little bit of a walk between the homes out here, so I'll walk as quickly as I can. A lot of the lots out here are from 5 to 10, 15 acres, and so there's a good opportunity to do some things in this particular neighborhood that you wouldn't be able to do in other neighborhoods, obviously, that don't have that much land. And again, I'm going to turn back here into the sun, but You've got some mountain views out here as well in this neighborhood, depending upon which house you purchase, and that's that way. And you got more mountain views down that way as well. So it's again south of town, but you're still literally it's 5 minutes away from the Target store. And if you're a Target shopper, or certainly any of the other shopping that's here in Waynesboro, like I say, 5 to 10 minutes away, and yet you're secluded, you're private out here. It's pretty much one road just in and out, which makes it really, really nice. One of the neat properties I'm going to show you up here in a second that is just, I like it personally, and fits your style. It shows you kind of what you can do on your land out here, but and that's the property right over here. You can see it's a very large property, and got a huge barn in the background, and then the house on behind that. You have a larger lot, and you have a lot of flat land and a lot of usable land as well. So if you like a large lot and you like to be able to do things, this would be a great neighborhood for you to get in. So I'm going to take you up to one of the homes here in the neighborhood that is just over $500,000. So it's one of the smaller homes in the neighborhood, but it does have a 5-acre lot. And I'll just share with you some details about it so you kind of get an idea about this particular property. So I mentioned that I'd take you to one of the homes in the neighborhood, and like I say, this is one of the smaller homes in the neighborhood. However, it sits on 5 acres. It's 2,527 square feet. It's priced at $515,000. It has 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths, and that comes out to about $203 a square foot for something that was built in 1989. And you say, well, Stephan, that's maybe a little bit more than some of the houses we've been looking at as far as the dollar amount goes. And you're right, it absolutely is. But I guess the trade-off for that is, look at the size of the land, the lot that you're getting along with it. I mean, 5 acres versus, a 1/4 acre. So it all depends. If you are of the mindset and of the desire to have a property that you want, a large property like that where you can get out and you can do things on it, and you like that. Of course, there's the maintenance that goes along with that and the mowing, things like that. But this is a great neighborhood. If you're not looking for that, this probably isn't something you want to get involved in, because like I say, a lot of the lots are very large. I can even turn around here and kind of show you another one of the lots, one of the other properties here. Again, well-established homes built 30, 40 years ago, and just a really neat neighborhood to be in. So if you're looking $500 to just under $800,000, 11 acres is a really neat place, and some of the nicest lots in the area, to be honest with you. And I'd highly advise taking a look here if this is something that is of interest to you. So at the beginning of the video, I said if you hung around to the end, I would share with you what I call a hidden gem in Waynesboro. And it's not this stone wall here, but I'm going to turn around here a little bit. Something that is really, really cool, and that is the Blue Ridge Tunnel. Now, the Blue Ridge Tunnel was only finished a couple of years ago for the remodel of it, so that there's a nice path, wheelchair accessible, and to be able to go through it. The entire route is 2.25 miles. You can come in from the west side, which is about a little over 1.5 miles to get to the tunnel, and is very flat. If you don't want to walk, or if you have a problem with hills, then this is the side to come in on. If you on the right side, on the west side of the tunnel, this is the east side. The west side of the tunnel, it's about a little over a mile to get here. Now the tunnel itself is 4,723 feet long, I believe is what it is. It's just over 4,700 feet. So it's almost a mile. You can actually walk all the way through it. When you get inside of it, you're going to see things like some waterfalls coming out in the tunnel in different places, and no doubt you can see the water that's already dripping off the top of the tunnel there. The tunnel was built back in the 1850s. It was finished in 1858. Claudius Crozet was the person in charge of it with the Blue Ridge Railroad. A lot of Irish immigrants were the ones that built this, and built this tunnel along with other individuals as well. And it was kind of interesting. It was 75 cents a day that general laborers got to clear things out of the tunnel, and the blasters got about $1.12 a day. And then they had a strike about 1854, and the wages went up to about $2, $3, and so but for the laborers it was still about $1.25 a day, but nonetheless it was an increase. And so just kind of a neat little fact about how the tunnel was built. And like I say, if you come here in the summertime, pretty much year-round, the temperature inside is about 50 degrees. You're going to see some bats on the inside. I would definitely recommend that you bring a flashlight with you. Even though you can see the hole at the exit at the other end, it gets pretty dark when you're in the middle of it. It's very handy to have a flashlight. As you go in, you can see there's brickwork on the other side. I'm not going to go all the way over today, but on the other side there's brickwork where the tunnel was laid underneath some of the softer dirt, and as they came out in some of the granite and the stone and the bedrock, they just cut straight through the tunnel. And as a matter of fact, in some of the places you can still see some of the marks, the pin markings where they went into the tunnel. So like I say, I'll just walk in here real quick so you kind of get an idea of it. And like I say, just a really neat, of course you have the echoes and everything else that's going along with it. And right now we're about 30 feet inside the cave, and you can see it's going to get pretty dark, and hopefully you can see the entrance at the other end. And if you turn around this way and you look, you can see the exit, or the entrance where we just came in. But like I say, a really pretty neat place to go. You know, take an hour, maybe 2, maybe 3 hours if you walk the entire length of it. And there's bathrooms at each one of the trailheads, and a place to park as well. So really neat place to visit. So like I say, just one of the many neat hidden gems of the area out here in Waynesboro and in the Shenandoah Valley and in the Blue Ridge Mountains. So like I said at the beginning of the video, if you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, pick up the phone, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and we'll be happy to help you find exactly what you're looking for here in Virginia's mountains and valleys. So until next time, we'll see you down the road.